Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You want to talk about those right? You just want to talk. You just want to support Israel is the terrorist state funded by the U.S. This streamer and me. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sorry for the late start. Um, I My life isn't chaotic right now, but I am struggling to build a routine just because I do have a lot of stuff to do in real life, like hang out with beautiful women and dance with beautiful women and work out and walk my dog and take care of my pets. Now, I'm moving at the end of this month, so lots of things in motion, so it's hard to just keep to a schedule. However, here I am. I'm going to do 2 hours. Not stream tomorrow because I have to start packing seriously tomorrow. Cleaning, really, and then packing. Um, and then Saturday, I do have plans with one of my female friends. Um, as well. I don't. She's very flaky though, so I'm not sure if she will uh, show up. So, but maybe she might just come over and help me pack some more. So that might be the plan, anyways. Door knocking. I'm door knocking on Saturday. I do have that in my schedule as well. What time is that at Block Walk? At 9 a. No, no, that's not it. Block Walk, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Saturday. So, gonna go door knock, make sure people are gonna go get out and vote. No dancing this weekend. I danced on Tuesday. Didn't really get a new move, but I got better at some well, not basic techniques, some intermediate techniques. Cook some food. So I have food for the rest of the weekend, probably at least 3, maybe 4 days. And yeah, here I am, ready to stream. A lot going on. Not great things, but not all bad things. The first thing we're gonna do is look into is it's a good thing, but it doesn't move the needle. Doesn't really move the needle. None of the good that is happening in the US is going to outweigh all the bad shit that is going on in the US. Like, we legit we legit have an administration that is out to take out its vengeance on the American people who didn't vote for him and to enrich themselves. All it is to it. That's what we have right now. Um, but we do got to take the wins where we can. Um, keep hope. Hope. keep our dream alive and keep hoping that change will we'll get there. We'll get to a better life here. It's just a matter of going through the trials and tribulations to get there. And yeah, just take this victory
To
right here.
be the next White House press secretary is Scott Jennings. Scott Jennings. You know that Scott Jennings. The Scott Jennings that Adam Mockler dominates every single time he's on CNN. And I'm actually stunned as I start this video that I read that. I don't know how accurate it is. It's from the Huff Post. But Adam Mockler is far too humble to ever come on to here and tell you the truth, which is that would be hilarious because Adam just shreds that guy every single time on CNN. Adam Mockler owns Scott Jennings, and if Scott Jennings becomes the White House secretary, that's going to be hilarious because every single time I can get on here on the Adam Mockler channel and be like, hey, look, we're reporting live from the White House from the dude who lost every single debate to Adam Mockler. So with that said, why do we need a new White House secretary? Because Caroline Leavitt is leaving, and we just got new reporting possibly as to why, which I found pretty interesting. You know, she says it's because of her kids, which could be the truth, but someone at CNN reporting something a little bit different. Let's hop into this. First of all, this is Caroline Leavitt's legacy. I just want to be clear. At Caroline Leavitt leads a prayer with her team before every briefing. This is a prayer taking place before she goes out to defend the guy who is best friend.
It's psychotic. This right here, this is straight psychotic. Like, how are you gonna go pray to the Lord and then go out there and lie for a fucking deplorable man? Like, holy shit, you're putting a man before Jesus? Like, what is wrong with you? Blech.
Friends with Jeffrey Epstein, defend the fact they're not releasing the Epstein files, defend the war with Iran, defend the high prices. This is her legacy, protecting people like Jeffrey Epstein. Take a listen.
Peacefully, in Jesus' name, amen. Let's do this. Preach.
Let's do this. Let's pray to Jesus that I can go out there and again defend Epstein's best friend, defend the fact that we're not releasing the files, defend the convicted felon who's been found liable for sexually abusing a woman, liable for defamation again, that's twice, defamation against the woman he sexually abused, liable for business fraud, a lifelong con and cheat and scammer, and somebody who, you know, steals other people's money and is a raging narcissist, somebody Jesus would look up to, Donald J. Trump. That last part was obviously sarcasm, but this will be her legacy. Caroline Leavitt stepping down. Here she is praying before heading out to help Trump cover up the Epstein files. This is her legacy. I like this tweet a lot. So let's figure out how Fox is covering this. This is from yesterday when the news dropped. Stephen Miller commenting on this. And then we're going to get into some of this new reporting and try to figure out exactly what Caroline Leavitt's legacy will be. And I want to know after this video or through this video, if you could comment and let me know what you think of this new reporting that I'm about to show you about Caroline Leavitt stepping down. Before we hop into it, my name is Chris Mowry. I am not Adam Mockler, but I do have daily video here on the Adam Mockler channel, so it would mean a lot to both Adam and I if you go right down below, hit like, hit subscribe, share the video out. If you appreciate the fact that the Adam Mockler team, the Mockler Media team, here on the Mockler Media channel or on the Adam Mockler channel, too many Mocklers, too many M's, I apologize. If you appreciate that we never stop working, we don't let these stories go. The team continues to grow. We add people on the back end. We're trying to bring you the best content possible because we care about this so much. We care about democracy and we care about cutting through a lot of the MAGA BS. If you appreciate that, again, make sure you hit like and subscribe and check out my YouTube channel right down below. It means a lot to me. You guys
Don't forget to
are the
like
best.
and
Listen to Stephen
subscribe,
Miller.
please. I really can't wait to stop doing it, to be honest. I really want us to get to a place where, politics is boring. Politics is not exciting. Politics is, them just making sure Social Security and Medicare are funded correctly. Like, they should be fucking stewards and not so much of nannies. It's like Texas is such a nanny state. Republicans used to be about freedoms. Now they're like, nah, fuck that. We want you to read our Bible. We want you to uh, s- drink alcohol but not smoke weed. We want to control your bodies. Well, just women's bodies, not men's body. Oh yeah. Wait. Men's bodies too. You can't get surgeries and stuff here. Oh my goodness. I really would like us to get back to a point where it isn't weird to say, oh, like I'm not political, like or something like that. Like right now, it's like, okay, you're not political, but politics is affecting our daily life. Like grocery prices are up, gas prices are up, uh, job numbers are down. Like every day, the government is negatively affecting our life. So let's get a government, no, not even a government. Let's get some systems in place where we don't need them changing shit for the better. If we just get Medicare for all, better, as well, if we have where's my, how many part plan? Drinks. Oops. 48 part plan. Follow my 48 part plan. Immigration solved, housing solved, military solved, budget solved, healthcare solved, taxes solved, everything solved. We then we wouldn't need, it wouldn't be necessary for these fucks to insert themselves in our lives. We could all be non-political and just be like, yeah, sure, whatever. Just don't fuck up the system. Like you can do what you want, just don't fuck up the systems that we have cuz they're working.
Achievements are second to none. Her job that she has performed as White House press secretary, the word exemplary doesn't even begin to cover it. She has served this president so well, this administration so well, this country so well.
Yeah. I'm not sure about that, Stephen Miller. Exemplary.
Oops.
Right. Well, let's do a double take on this. This was Caroline Levitt last week. Take a listen.
Allowing complete lawlessness and chaos across our country. We had 4 years of that under Joe Biden. Thanks to President Trump and Republicans and common sense policies across the board, our country is safer, our country is more affordable.
Exemplary. Our country is more affordable as inflation is obviously higher and continues to rise under this administration. Like the blatant lies from Caroline Levitt over time, over this administration, have been truly like remarkable. These people lie so easily. They lie like they breathe, frankly, and that's the culture Donald Trump builds, because that's who Donald Trump is. And partly, I wonder if that's the reason she left. If you have, and I said this in a previous video, if you have even a little bit of your soul left, which like Stephen Miller doesn't have a soul,
No.
so this couldn't happen
No.
to Stephen Miller. Does Caroline
Definitely not.
Levitt have a little bit of soul left? Because if you have just a little bit, I think you're like at the breaking point. How do you live with yourself? How do you go to sleep at night when you get on the TV and say something like this? It does millions of views on Twitter, and then you get a community note. The CPI has risen 5.1% from January 2025 to June 2026, so obviously not getting more affordable. This was Donald Trump today. Again, how can you live with yourself handling or being a part of, excuse me?
Obviously, she can't. I think what the last straw was the whole using the decoy plane. I think that was scared her. She's like, oh, he's legitimately okay with sacrificing not only the press but members of his own cabinet. He really doesn't care.
This administration.
Energy costs are way down. Our groceries are way down. Everything is way down. And the press doesn't report it. The press reports whatever the con people say. You know, I call the Democrats con men and women. They make up numbers. So I don't want to hear about the affordability.
Again, like how do you get up and defend that? You know, it's January 2025. You can figure out a way to be like, the golden age of America is coming. It can be
You know, and then whenever, no knock at HEB, but whenever like prices spike, they put out a lot of coupons and sales on items. And I hope they do it with good intentions. I hope they're just like, hey, we understand that prices are high, so we're gonna go ahead and throw you some coupons.
April, and you can be like, just give it a little bit longer. You're deep in your second year, and you have the president who is deep in a war with Iran he can't get out of, with prices exploding, more unpopular than he's ever been, saying stuff like this. It's like, I wouldn't want to get on a stage and defend him either. A new congressional report reveals Americans lost $219 billion in 2025 due to rising prices and tariffs under Trump. Donald Trump has personally made $2.2 billion during his second term. So again, this is the contrast you have to draw. These people and Donald Trump get so effing rich with the outward corruption, the cryptocurrency, and all this stuff as we lose money. Again, how do you defend it? It is indefensible. Before we get into this, brand new news. Caroline Leavitt quit because Trump was driving her crazy. We'll read about that in just 2 seconds. Let's hear from Donald Trump the other day about why he had to run off Air Force One. Because again, if you think about going into Caroline Leavitt's mind, I just don't know how you defend this stuff.
Still flew out of Turkey with press and with White House officials on it. How much is...
Well, this one went over to England, where it was shown to the
Well,
soldiers.
it's still at risk, even though...
No, I know, but this one went over to England because the soldiers wanted to see it.
Right, the
And
one
it stopped, and they showed it to the soldiers, and we did a switch over there. And it was really as per the military, and I just have to do what they say. They go for safety, and I have to do what they say.
Why was it too dangerous for you to fly on Air Force One, but
Well,
not
I
too
don't know.
dangerous
I
for the
think
press?
actually the plane that I flew on was at greater risk.
Nice. The guy is in just full cognitive decline, and it plays off his narcissism like nothing we've ever seen.
The Pentagon and CENTCOM are going after the Midas Touch network after Aaron Parnas broke some of the biggest stories regarding the horrific treatment of our courageous sailors and Marines aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln and the USS George H.W. Bush, the supercarriers right now in the Persian Gulf. Pete Hegseth is out there attacking us, saying that our reporting is fake news. CENTCOM made a post saying that our reporting is false, and then they tried to act like we were reporting on something completely else, folks. We've been hearing from the military families. We've been hearing from the sailors and Marines themselves aboard these supercarriers. The situation is absolutely dire. I want to give a hat tip to Aaron. Parnas, affiliated with the Midas Touch Network. He's got his own YouTube channel. I'm sure you know him on TikTok. One of the most incredible reporters out there today. Make sure you subscribe to his YouTube channel. He's been leading the way on this reporting. Also, hat tip to the Military Times, Stars and Stripes. MS Now has been doing great coverage on this as well. It's something we really need to pay a lot of attention to, because the way the Trump regime is treating our courageous sailors and Marines, it's exactly what Donald Trump had said about our service members. He called them suckers and losers, and this is how he's treating them.
Damn, that was a good little rant. No, yeah, he just doesn't care. He just doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about your kids. He doesn't care. Unless you can benefit him, unless you're part of his circle, he just doesn't give a fuck. And that's what's happened to our sailors. They've been on deployment for over 250 days, longest deployment in naval history. The fucking the boat, I'm calling it a boat. I don't give a fuck. The boat needs repairs. They don't have running water in both sides of the boat, the port and the bow. Food supplies are low. They're rationing. They aren't getting regular mail, and I guess people ship them like deodorant and stuff in the mail. So that's a stinky ass boat because they don't got their deodorant. Oh Lord. Oh my goodness. I can't. And for what? For what? For why? A war with Iran that nobody wants because they said that they had. Oh, they didn't even say that they had weapons of mass destruction this time. It's not weapons of mass destruction this time. It's like, oh, but they're thinking about weapons of mass destructions. So we gotta kill them before they think about weapons of mass destruction. It's like, Jesus Christ. Billions of dollars down the drain. Sailors suffering on a boat ride for 250 days. For lies, bro. For fucking lies.
Right now. So by now, I'm sure you've seen our reporting. It was the top story on Drudge. Rotten meat, no milk. Troops detail life aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln. And we've heard from the family members of these sailors and Marines as they say, the Navy doesn't care about us. They are intentionally making us suffer, and the families know what's going on. Senator Gallego of Arizona, who himself served in our armed forces, he's a veteran. He responded to Pete Hegseth's attack on us. And Senator Gallego said, look, I'm in communication with a spouse who is forwarding me her husband's text messages. Stop lying and fix the problem. I'll play for you what Hegseth said in just a moment. But here's the post by U.S. Central Command CENTCOM. Over the past 48 hours, multiple media outlets have reported several false claims related to the USS Abraham Lincoln deployment to the Middle East. One report alleged 7 sailors died in a brawl aboard the aircraft carrier, and others recently
I haven't seen that one.
Suggested a spike in suicidal ideations. These reports are false. Fact, USS Abraham Lincoln has maintained among the highest crew re-enlistment rates, 84.4%.
Bro, how are they? They're stuck on a boat for 250 days. What do you mean? They don't have the opportunity to leave. They don't even remember what the fucking life was back on the mainland. Like, what do you mean? All they know is life at sea. 260 days. 260 days, 1.5 million pounds of ordnance expended. That's not something to brag about. 1.5 million pounds? Bro, that is not something to... Why do we need 1.5 million pounds of ordnance? For what? For why, bro?
Percent of all aircraft carriers in the U.S. Navy. The sailors and Marines of the Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group remain resilient and resolved after more than 260 days at sea, 10,000 aircraft flights, and 1.5 million pounds of ordnance expended. No service members aboard the aircraft carrier have died, and the one sailor who fell overboard August 3rd was quickly and safely recovered. The rampant misreporting on Abraham Lincoln's historic deployment is a disservice to our men and women in uniform and their loved ones. No, your behavior is a disservice. Y'all are a bunch of treasonous traitors, in my opinion, the way you're treating our service members, and then making this despicable post right here. And I'll just break it down in a moment. But you said that accurately reporting what the family members are saying, what's happening, accurately reporting what the Navy sailors and Marines aboard these supercarriers are saying, that's actually patriotism, to tell the truth. And notice what they tried to do here, and you can see how they're lying in their tactics. They just think we're stupid. They create like a completely false premise that no one's really talking about. I mean, we've never reported, no one that I know is really reporting that there were 7 sailors who died in a brawl.
Right, right. They're like, listen, y'all are saying that people died in a brawl and stuff. It's like nobody said that. No, y'all said it, and we're reporting here now that that's a fucking lie. It's like, what the fuck, bro?
Or the aircraft carrier. What we've been reporting consistently, and others have, is that there's been 6 or 7 service members who attempted to jump overboard, including one individual who did jump overboard because the conditions are so horrible. What we and others have been reported, with Aaron Parnas leading the way, is that the plumbing doesn't work. There's mold all over the bathrooms. The showers don't work. The service members are not getting the nutrition they need to stay healthy, that they're losing 20, 30, some are losing 50 pounds, that the service members feel horrible that they are being linked to these war crimes that the Trump regime is engaged in, that they never know when this deployment's going to end, that they've been out to sea for nearly 9 months, and the Gerald Ford for basically a year, which returned in May, but the USS Abraham Lincoln, that morale is at an all-time low. So you're creating this, 7 sailors didn't die in a bar brawl. Okay, well, that's not the issue that's on the front page of Drudge that we've been reporting on. Then they say the U.S. Abraham Lincoln maintained among the highest crew re-enlistment rates. Yeah, maybe before the ship went out to sea, you conned them, you frauded them, you defrauded them, exactly what Hegseth and Trump have done their whole life. Now you brought them out to sea, you made this deployment never ending, and so the enlistment rate, by the way, I don't believe any of the numbers coming from the Trump regime, which lies about every number imaginable. So I don't even believe that your numbers of enlistment and re-enlistment rate.
That's the thing. Like, I kind of want to give the military the benefit of the doubt and be like, okay, maybe there was some false reporting, but they legit have lost all integrity by, committing war crimes, to be honest.
But regardless, what does that have to do with the fact that they've been deployed for nearly 9 months right now and that the conditions are horrible? It has nothing to do with it. You just think, 84.4%, that's going to make people go, they must be, the reports must be wrong. No, we're not stupid. We know the tactics that you're engaged in right here. And then you just list a bunch of numbers. They remain resilient and resolved after more than 260 days at sea, 10,000 aircraft flights, and 1.5 million pounds of ordnance expended. The 1.5 million ordnance expended, which has gone to slaughter little girls in Manob and to kill innocent people as well, that's one of the things that's leading to the psychological torture that our troops are feeling aboard these supercarriers. And just saying 260 days, 10,000 aircraft flights, again, you're just saying numbers. What does that have to do with anything? That's not the story. The story is they've been out there for a very long time, that you're not giving them basic necessities in order to even live, and their family, are you saying all of their family members are liars?
They're just there to flex on Iran. It's all for show. Well, not all for show, and war crimes. But like, there's no strategic, like, legitimately, we have no strategic beneficial reason for having an aircraft carrier out on deployment for 9 months in the Middle East. 2 to 4 weeks. Remember the war? 2 to 4 weeks. Why are we even at war? The president isn't supposed to be able to go to war. Like, how are we? We just move past that all the fucking time. We just gloss over it. I think we really need to put that back. Checks and balances need to return. One of the checks and balances on the executive branch is they're not supposed to be the ones that declare war. Okay? Yet we're at a war with Iran.
Are you calling our service members, the sailors and the Marines on those ships, and their family members who have reached out to Aaron Parnas and us and to others, are you saying they're liars? Are you saying that the San Diego families who were there calling out the top naval officials who were lying to them and who have treated their family members who have bravely sacrificed for our country and treated them like crap, are you saying those family members in San Diego are liars? Are you saying the family members who were on the virtual chat who were calling out this exact same deplorable conditions aboard these ships, are you saying that they're liars? How dare you? How dare you say that they're liars? This is coming from the family members. You wouldn't know that because, well, you do know that, but you wouldn't care because for you, this is all about your war crimes. This is all about whatever Donald Trump's deranged, these are my blockades of steel. No, you put our troops out there for way too long. You've depleted our interceptors. You've depleted our munitions. You've ran down our stockpiles. You destroyed our strategic petroleum reserves. Our MQ-9 Reapers are destroyed. Our bases are in horrible conditions right now. It's horrible. Here's what Pete Hegseth had to say about us. Here, play this clip.
Completely misrepresented. Listen, we make sure that every ship, every crew, every captain has everything we can provide them at every single moment. More respect and gratitude for those sailors than anybody. What they do in those high seas and those austere conditions with less port calls, it's incredible. I mean, Americans don't understand what it's like to do that. So, as someone who's
he's not a sailor. He is not from the Navy.
Not been on a ship like that, but been on long deployments. I feel
No. See, it's not the same. It's not the same. Are you fucking... Oh, he's so stupid.
I want them home as soon as everybody else do. I want folks rotated as quickly as possible. I want the best for them. My commanders know that. Our service secretaries know that. The president expects that. And so to that crew and to all those crews, we're going to do everything we can for you. And we are so grateful for their dedication of that crew and others. They've held the line for the country, and they've done a fantastic job.
And so again, Senator Gallego says that he's in touch with the family and the spouses who have forwarded the text messages. Stop lying, Hegseth, and fix the problem. But let's remember, this is the CENTCOM who keeps posting things like this. This was a post from CENTCOM. The southern route through the Strait of Hormuz remains free and open for all commercial vessels seeking to transit the international waterway. Over the past 3 months, U.S. forces have assisted more than 1,000 vessels in successfully transiting the strait despite unwarranted Iranian aggression. And these transit continues to say, everybody, it's wide open. Everybody knows. Just stop with the lies. You've totally destroyed the credibility of CENTCOM. It's...
Yeah. So that's happening. Not the greatest. It's just continued gaslighting by the President of the United States. And just like the 30% of people who still support him, I'm just like, are you dumb? Do you know he's lying and you're okay with it? Yeah, those are the only two possibilities I see. It's like, I just don't see how you could stand your president telling you oil prices are going down, they're going up. Groceries are going down, they're going up. Iran war is going great. we're not supposed to be at a war because the president's not supposed to be declaring war.
Talk about this, but Trump's border wall is apparently a massive clusterfuck that nobody's talking about. So here's the Bulwark. Shout out to the Bulwark and Tim Miller here. They talked to somebody who's going to give us some specifics as to what's going on the ground with Trump's border wall. And some of this stuff is actually astonishing. Listen to this.
According to DHS, of where the wall is going to be, the acreage that will now be on the Mexico side, it looks like they're about to basically put Americans on the other side of 280,000 acres of Texas land. So Americans are going to be fenced out.
We're giving some land to Mexico?
We're giving 280,000 acres of land and the most important water source in West Texas to Mexico. I mean, that is what Donald Trump is doing. If you talk to people down there on the border, that's what they'll tell you.
Territorial concessions to Mexico was happening under the Trump administration?
Yeah.
Bro, they won on the border, on the made-up border crisis. Okay, not made-up border crisis, on the fucking border crisis. Democrats should be able to win on running on fucking Trump giving Mexico part of the United States to part of the, yeah, literally giving Mexico part of the United States. Like, what the fuck is this? Who's from Texas? Who's the other one? Who's the other one? Like, what the fuck?
Territorial concessions to Mexico. My
sorry.
family has a ranch, hundreds of acres of land in West Texas that's been in the family for 5-6 generations, that they just got an eminent domain letter from the federal government so they can come down there and put a wall straight through their land and
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Bro, I thought they were putting a wall through nothing. Well, the Big Bend National Park, that's still, like, not bad. Not good. Like, I'm not an outdoorsy person, but people are outdoorsy people are very upset about this. And I'm upset with them because I love me some outdoorsy people. Is it has the has the USA federal government use eminent domain for the border wall in Texas this year? Oh wow. Oh wow. So this is happening. So this is legit happening. Okay. They're just seizing. Damn, Texas. Damn, I thought they said don't mess with Texas. What happened? What happened? Don't mess with Texas. What do you mean? Oh my God. What the fuck do you mean, Texas? I am flabbergasted. They're giving land to Mexico and they're taking land away from Americans, away from Texans. They're giving private property owned by Texans. They're stealing it. They are straight stealing it. Oh my God. You know, at the very least, I bet you the property is worth a lot because the market is super. Well, that's for real estate. Is it counted as real estate? I don't know, but holy shit!
Lost them off of acres and acres of their own land, which has the river access. Again, the water source in West Texas in the desert. that they won't be able to get to if the federal government gets this land. I mean, this is the stuff that's happening.
That is so insane. Imagine being so ideologically committed to the idea of a border wall that you give up 280,000 acres of land to Mexico, the most important water source in West Texas, and you box Americans out of being in their own country with this wall. That's almost too stupid to comprehend.
And the eminent domain. Bro, and you're taking property. Oh yay. No, I want to do this. You're taking property away from Texans to build a fucking wall. Are you if I were a Texan. If I were a Texan, like I remember when this happened in Arizona, and they bought houses from people, made them move because they built a freeway. And I was like, listen, low key, I like freeways. I like getting around town. They basically built a huge circle around Phoenix, and I'm like, this is a great way to get around, from the boonies to this city. So, like, freeway, useful. Everybody can use it. You're the only one who can use your house. Everybody can use the highway. Socialism. Socialism, bro. I was like, I'm for it. Fuck it. Let's do it. Here, I'm just like, bro, you don't need to build your wall there. That's not for anybody. They should have their house there. They should have their land there. They can have that land. We don't need that. We don't need a wall there. You know what we do need? We do need better roads. Well, especially in Texas. Holy shit, they need better roads. Man, they did construction on a street that I drive to every day and work. It was smooth before they did their construction, and now it's fucking it's like I'm going over a bunch of potholes. Like, it's fucking crazy. I think I need to make a complaint. But anywho, like, we could be using this money for this border wall and paying U.S. citizens to take over their land. We could be using this money to make that road better. That'd be nice. It's a very used road. Like, I would say probably hundreds of cars go over it. I was going to try to tag the city of Austin's mayor and be like, yo, this road is ass. What are you going to do? And see if they fix it like Mamdani is doing. But I haven't done that. This is so crazy. Texas seceding land to Mexico. Oh, how the turntables. Oh, how the turntables.
Comprehend. It's very hard to wrap your mind around. But it's Trump. So what do you expect? It is Trump. Okay. Trump has also just given a $1.6 billion no-bid contract. Oh, boy. We know what happened the last time with the reflecting pool. He did a no-bid contract. We know what happened that time. That thing fucking fell apart like nobody's business. To Barnard Construction to build a border wall through eastern New Mexico. Barnard Construction chairman coincidentally gave Trump $1 million in 2024. So yet again, corruption, self-dealing, skimming off the top. I'm sure that whoever this contractor is completely and utterly unqualified for this massive job they're about to take up. So prepare yourself, man. Oh, this thing is going to be a mess. This thing is a total clusterfuck. And then also, here, I'll play this one for you as well from NBC News.
It's sunrise on the Rio Grande, and Charlie Angel wonders how many more he'll get to watch here. For more than a decade, he's made the river his life and his livelihood, running canoe tours from his home just off the banks.
And here we are on the banks of the mighty, muddy Rio Grande.
He showed us exactly where that dream might end.
I always knew that if they were going to build a border wall, it would be right here, upending my life.
For weeks, letters from Customs and Border Protection have filled his mailbox, confirming...
Bro, why haven't you got an attorney? Why have you not got an attorney and fought this shit? What do you mean it's taking a man's business? They don't care about us. They don't care about us. What do you mean it's taking a man's... Oh my Jesus.
Those fears, carrying threats of eminent domain.
This describes what the wall will be, where you can see. It's called Border Barrier System. It's going to have 30-foot high barrier made of 6-inch square diameter steel bollards, spaced approximately 4 inches apart, access roads, drainage gates.
All of this would essentially take over your entire property.
Yes, absolutely. They build this wall like they're saying they're going to. You might as well kiss the Rio Grande goodbye, because you won't have access to it anymore, and it's going to ruin it environmentally.
This stretch of the border is rugged country, as beautiful as it is deadly. It's why, as the first Trump administration built more than 450 miles of new border wall, working to fulfill one of the president's signature promises, Republicans and Democrats alike around here thought it was unthinkable the blueprints would include them. Until now. DHS is planning more than 120 miles of new wall through the Big Bend, igniting bipartisan pushback, crossing what has long been a red line in some deep red parts of the country.
You can't make a better wall than that right there.
Presidio County Judge Jose Portillo, a Democrat and a retired state police officer, showed us why this region sees the fewest illegal crossings of any stretch of the southern border, even during the migrant surge under President Biden. After all, that wall was built.
Even if they successfully make it this far, they show up with their hands up in the air and they give up. And what they want is food and water.
Border Patrol counted a 74% decline in apprehensions here, from almost 12,000 in fiscal year 2023 to just over 3,000 last year, or under 9 people per day across 517 miles of border. Still, DHS has awarded more than $1 billion in construction contracts for the Big Bend sector so far.
There we go.
Just upriver from Charlie, Esteban Mesa shows us the property his family has held for generations, and the crucial source of water set to be walled off.
So you see, this is where I lift my water.
And if a wall was between your property and the river where you get your water, what would you do?
I don't know. Nothing.
Presidio County Sheriff Danny Dominguez took us to the border he patrols every day.
We don't need physical water.
Last week, he joined the region's 4 other sheriffs, representing 4 deep red counties, signing a letter condemning the plans for a wall. They're pushing for a solution built on surveillance, not steel.
Would a wall make people safer here?
No, I don't think so.
A CBP spokesperson tells us the agency continues to develop and finalize its plans for a wall, focusing on the top operational priorities with historical rates of high illegal entry. As this region races for construction, law enforcement sees little to gain. The Texans on the Rio Grande see everything to lose.
Fighting for your life stream.
I'm fighting for my life. I'm fighting for my livelihood, for my career, for my sanity, for my peace of mind. And I'm fighting for the Rio Grande.
Trump seems to believe in nothing.
Does that guy have like a GoFundMe? I don't have money right now, but next month I'll have money, and I want to support him.
Except
I do want to get on a canoe too, so
the border wall ideologically. Well, that's not true. He believes he's an ideological sadist, right? Like he's backing Max Miller after he was accused of all sorts of domestic abuse, you know, hurting his daughter, hurting his wife, shoving a woman down the stairs, and Trump is still backing him because he's like ideologically pro-criminal and pro-rapist and pro-border walls. The other thing, like he actually has a commitment to it. And it, again, it's to the point where it like the specifics are irrelevant to him. If you explain to them like, hey, there's a natural barrier here anyway, so, you know, even if you're a hard-line guy on the border, you still, like, the barrier is there. Like, there's already one there. It's like, don't care. Want to do another one. I had watched a segment on this years ago. I think I covered it years ago. There was also, like, a particular community where it's very bizarre, like, the layout and like a certain part is the US and a certain part is Mexico, and it like sort of meshes in a little bit together, and there's like a golf course there, and with their plans you'd have the border wall like going directly through a US town, and it would like cut the US off from the US, but also it would like cut the golf course in half, and like there's so many things like basic logistical issues here, not even ideological, but like logistical issues. And of course the Trump people are just committed to the dumbest possible way of, you know, of doing it, because that's what they're just dumb, they're incompetent, they're stupid. And so like take a bad idea in the first place and then execute it as horribly as humanly possible. And that's what you get. And that's why you even have like right-wing sheriffs who are, nobody's lefties or liberals or even pro-immigrant, and they're like, yeah, this is kind of dumb. Let's not do that. And it looks like they're going to do it. It looks like they're going to do it. So
yeah, legit.
Here we go. I mean, how
It keeps popping up on my feed. Like, they're bulldozing shit. They're bringing in supplies. One tweet is like, oh, look at them. They just made a road where there wasn't a road before, and now it's easier to cross here. Great. Great job, guys.
How many things can he ruin? At this point, it's hard to keep up. It's hard to keep track with how many things he's ruining. But to reiterate, because I felt like this was just astonishing, the U.S. is apparently, under Trump's plan, giving 280,000 acres of land to Mexico, including the most important water source in West Texas. And they're cutting Americans off from their own country with where the border wall is running through. There you go. Doing things the Trump way, which is the way that led him to bankrupt 6 different businesses, including casinos where they literally come and give you money for nothing. There you have it. That's the show. I love you all very much. As always, you guys know the drill. Everybody do me a big favor. Subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon. Support the show on Patreon. That link is below. You can also sign up for Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. That link is below as well. And go sub to Corin's World. Remember, y'all, come watch Crystal Kyle and Friends this week. Sign up below because we have... All right, y'all. So I'm going to ask you this question. What is even the point of Mark Levin's show on Fox News? I mean, it really feels like it's just the Israel lobby installed a guy in prime time on Fox News to try to spread their message. It's almost like he works directly for Mossad, except that might not make sense because I don't know anybody who hurts the Israeli cause more than Mark Levin, because nobody fucking likes this guy. There's never been a more nasally, preachy, screechy, annoying-ass voice arguing for the most atrocious things you've ever seen. And he does it every night. Like, every night on his show is like, why don't we commit more war crimes night? Every night is like, I need more death. I need more destruction. I need more Iranian babies to be blown up. I need more Palestinians to be fed into the meat grinder. Like, I genuinely don't... It's insane how this man is still going and feels no sense of shame, no sense of humiliation. So he goes out on his show the other day, and he throws a fit here over the fact that, young Americans seemingly are not interested in going to fight in Iran and potentially get blown the fuck up for Israel. So let's listen, and then we'll break it down.
What the hell has happened to our society? Where is our can-do-it mentality? I want to talk about the greatest generation versus today's young people. Okay? I got to thinking about this over this taco debate on the internet. That's how pathetic things have become.
Taco stands for Trump always chickens out, by the way. That's what he's...
No. Taco is... Burritos are $20 now. And burritos shouldn't be $20. Fair. 100% fair. You should be able to get a breakfast burrito for $10, $12. 100%. Chipotle used to be like an affordable option for college kids to go to, or college people to go to, and now it's a luxury, you know? They really can't afford Chipotle anymore. I mean, I can't even afford Chipotle, but I'd choose not to eat there because I think they don't give me enough meat for the money that they charge. But anywho, yeah, that's what the debate is. It's like, oh yeah, like, can't $20 shouldn't be. I should. 20 burrito shouldn't be that much, or I should be able to afford like a burrito. Period. Like, Americans should be able to afford burritos, ice cream, like, greatest country on earth, and we're talking about how we just need to suck it up. It's like, what the fuck? Fuck you, bitch.
Referring to
the greatest generation endured the severe economic scarcity of the Great Depression during their youth, followed by massive global combat and home front mobilization during World War II. Over 16 million Americans served in the military, facing intense physical danger, hundreds of thousands of casualties.
would note what he points out to is also the reason why we have the military and industrial complex that we do now is because during the Great Depression they switched to war mode and just pumped that U.S. money into building weapons of destruction. Uh, and they did that everywhere, so everybody had a job and the money was just flowing in. And so we're like, oh shit, we can just keep building more bombs and bullets and keep people employed. It's great.
Strict civilian rationing of food, gas, and clothing. We sit here with a war in Iraq.
While controlling the food and water of the population. Jesus Christ, he's literally trying to take us back to the 1950s. He wants us to go back. How many years is that? 50. He wants us to go back 76 years, bro. What the fuck? That is insane.
Iran. Against an enemy that has killed thousands of Americans, maimed thousands of Americans. I remember a time when America
That's such bullshit.
would say, let's go. Let's destroy that country, destroy that government. You don't get to kill thousands of our fellow citizens, military or civilian. You don't get to try to assassinate our president. You don't get to threaten us with potential nuclear weapons either. Now it's a debate.
Here's the problem for Mark Levin. Any honest analysis of World War II is going to lead to the inevitable conclusion that Hitler was indeed hell-bent on world domination. Okay, that he was actually trying to create the Third Reich. He was obsessed with Aryan superiority. He basically wanted everybody else to be shoved into death camps and mass murdered. And he had taken over the overwhelming majority of Europe. He almost took over all of Europe. And so, in that scenario, you look at it, and it actually is like a very clean breakdown where like one side is good and one side is evil, right? Like I think that's the correct analysis. It sounds simplistic and perhaps it sounds hyperbolic, but like our side, us along with the Soviet Union, like we were the good guys and the bad guys were Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan and fascist Italy. And like I don't even think that's controversial to say. It was an existential fight. Like, if we lose that war, you can have fascism take over the globe, right? Now, on the flip side,
and, like, it definitely had more of a moral cause. It's like, oh, shit, like, they're literally just putting women and children and men into showers and gassing them or just firing squads and just terrible, terrible things to humans. And we decided, and they pulled us into the war. Now, Israel and Russia are perpetrators of war crimes, targeting women and children. They may not be gassing them, but they are definitely dropping the bombs on them and using the bullets and firing squads to to massacre Palestinians. So, and we're using our bombs and bullets to harass Iran. We've killed thousands of people in Iran to save the Iranians from themselves. I don't know how people can see that as patriotic. I don't see how we can compare any of, well, not any of, the World War One or two to what we're doing now with Iran, or what we did with Afghanistan, or what we did with Iraq. Like, or Vietnam too, Yeah, fuck it, throw Vietnam in there. It's like Jesus, man. We have done this dance like 4 times in a row, 5 times in a row. When are we gonna learn the lesson? I'm hoping this will be the lesson.
Legal war against Iran. It's a country that didn't threaten us. It didn't attack us. It can't really attack us directly here at home. We were the aggressors. And to the extent that there's a fascist side of this war, it's us. It's us. Trump represents fascism now. So you can't make the case to young Americans like, hey, this is an existential fight for our future. Like, you need to fight to try to preserve our way of life. Preserve what? Medical debt? You know, going to McDonald's and getting a McRib? Like, what are we fighting to protect? I genuinely don't know the answer to that question.
I haven't been to McDonald's in like 2 fucking years.
What would we be fighting to protect here? This isn't...
I really want chicken nuggets.
Defense. It's not defensive. What we did against Iran is offensive. It's aggressive. It's offensive. It's illegal attacks against innocent people. And people know that. And no amount of gaslighting is going to change that for people. Okay? And that's what Mark Levin needs to understand, which clearly he doesn't. Or he knows, but he's just like lying in the process of making this argument. I also love leaning into like the generational war politics stuff. I love that. Except he's doing, the old generation is superior and the young generation are stupid. That's a great way to try to get people to go fight and die for Israel for you, Mark, is call them stupid, call them dumb, say they're useless. Shut the fuck up and go to the front line and get lit the fuck up on Karg Island. I mean, that's really what he wants, all right? Just come out and say it.
Should we take him out, shouldn't we? Are you a neocon or a warmonger? Is this a war of choice?
Yep.
We don't even have a draft. Could a draft even work with young people today? I wonder. Could we even fight World War II today?
I think we would get riots.
We're whining about $1.
But they've already talking about the draft in the Trump administration.
Of gasoline.
I don't know. They did something where everybody's like automatically put into the draft lottery, and it's all online. I don't know.
Well, it went up 60 cents. What are we gonna do? Mildred, what are we going to do? I don't know, Frank. It went up.
Mildred?
But I don't know. Affordability.
Here's what I would say to you, Mark Levin. Take your pudgy belly and your bald head and get your ass over there to Keshem Island. Let me know how that works out for you. Okay? Let me know how that works out for you. You go deploy. If you care, I care so much about the cause. Okay, then you go fight and die for it, right? If I actually cared enough about a cause, if it was like central to who I was, of course I'd put my life on the line. And he seems to care so much about this. Okay, get your fat ass to the front of the line, you dumb bitch. But you're not going to do it. You want some kid from a poor family to go fight and die in your stupid illegal war of aggression.
Over 16 million citizens served through both the draft and voluntary enlistment, leaving their homes, jobs, families for years at a time. One hellhole.
Again, not that hard of a choice because they had a morally just cause and they weren't working because of the Great Depression.
They went into after another, including members of my family. Troops face brutal conditions across global fronts, resulting in more than 670,000 American casualties and hundreds of thousands of deaths. Families live with constant anxiety.
Didn't they lose more people to like disease than anything?
Receiving telegrams reporting wounded, missing, or killed loved ones. The vast majority of us are utterly unaffected personally, our families, by what's going on in Iran with our troops.
Well, we won't be soon. We won't be soon. You want to know why? Because your pedophile, rapist, terrorist president has now made it so Iran is tightening the screws, and we're going to have a real oil crisis and an economic crash. So everybody's going to be affected by it soon. By the way, it's not even true. Everybody is affected by it, but yes, they're affected by it in the U.S. by the gas prices and the grocery prices. So people are getting squeezed. But it's going to get a lot worse. It's going to get a lot fucking worse.
The price of gasoline and the price of a taco now, it's just crazy. You know, this has gone on long enough. Are we going to the movies tonight? I don't know. Should we see a play? I don't know. Is football on TV yet? I don't know. But this has gone on way too long. You understand?
So he's like making fun of Americans for wanting to like have affordability, right?
making fun of us for just wanting to live normal fucking lives and not have to hear about a war in Iran, not have to hear about a naval deployment 265 days in, and the facilities are breaking down. We don't want to hear about seceding 200,000 acres of land to Mexico. What the fuck in Texas? Like, yeah, we want to go to the movies. We want to go watch football. We want to fucking have fantasy football drafts. We want to go to Disneyland. We want to go to Yosemite. We want to go to Big Bend National Park, see the most beautiful skies in the world. That's what we want to do. Yes. All this other bullshit distracts from it. All the other bullshit is just like, yo, I can't enjoy. I have to record these videos. I have to stream. I can't focus on football.
Wanting to enjoy their lives and have things be affordable. Don't think this is going to go over too well there, Mark Levin. Again, the fundamental problem with his argument here is the wars are not the same. The war against Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan and Fascist Italy, that was an existential war, and it was defensive by nature. This war we're waging against Iran is an illegal war of aggression. It's a war of choice, and you killed a whole bunch of innocent people. You bomb schools, you bomb hospitals, you bomb bridges, you bomb roads, and we shouldn't have done it, period. End of discussion. We shouldn't have done it. And so he's trying, it's a tortured attempt to try to link, oh, but back then they were willing to fight, and now they're not willing to fight. Well, I submit to you, if it was the same group of people, the same facts of today, and you take the people of yesteryear and make them young and put them in today, they also wouldn't want to fight in this war. Who the fuck wants to fight in this war? Look, even after 9/11, there was, an explosion of patriotism and people wanting to defend their country. So you were able to get a lot of people to sign up for Afghanistan and Iraq. Granted, Iraq was based on lies, but people believed that, oh, I'm actually defending my country because we were attacked. You can't make an argument like that today. You can't do it. And then when you have Trump going out there saying we're going to destroy an entire civilization tonight. He's sounding like a comic book villain. Who's looking at that going, oh, yeah, I think we're in the right? Who's looking at us bombing the little girls' school and going, oh, yeah, that's justifiable? I'm sure, I'm sure we're correct here. No, that's not happening. So, but this is his show, guys. This is his show, day in, day out. His show is whining, crying, bitching, and moaning that young people don't want to go fight and die for Israel. That's his show. And, chastising and berating the American people because they don't like how expensive things have gotten. Are you fucking kidding me? So, again, I come back to, how the fuck does this guy have a show? It's not because he's so charismatic. It's not because he's so interesting. It's not because he's so good on the mic. No, it's very clearly because he weaseled his way into Fox News, the organization, and, he's there for a reason. What's that reason? I don't know. Is there big money that's being spent to keep his ass on air so that he can be the chief propagandist for Israel? Maybe, but if that's the case, like I said, it's backfiring like a motherfucker. I guarantee you that. It's backfiring because nobody undermines his cause better than Mark Levin. The smug, nasally, shrill, fucking warmonger cunt who has seemingly no political allies except one named Donald J. Trump. It's a shame he has all the fucking power, isn't it?
Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the out.
Man. Sounds like they want Mom Donnie. How do you spell his name?
Childcare may sound like simply a family's issue, but business leaders say it's also an economic one. As Texas lawmakers take a closer look at childcare access and affordability concerns, We're joined this afternoon by Kelsey Erickson Stroifert with the Texas Restaurant Association and the Employers for Childcare Task Force. That is a coalition of more than 80 employers and business organizations that view childcare as a piece of the economy. So, Kelsey, welcome. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks so much for having me.
This is a topic that we've talked a lot about this week particularly, but as you are hearing from the different businesses and organizations that are a part of this coalition, what are you hearing about employees' concerns about their workers accessing childcare?
Yeah, it really comes down to numbers, right? In the restaurant industry, which I represent, but really in every major industry across our state, we can't find enough people and we can't keep enough people moving up through management to really serve the growing needs of our state. And we know childcare is one of those top barriers. The data tells us about 60% of non-working parents say childcare is a top reason they're not in the workforce. And of course, we know lots of working families are in the workforce, but not at the level they want to be because they can't find the childcare needs.
Is it simply a lack of availability for childcare, the different options in their communities, or is it the cost associated with that?
Unfortunately, it's all of the above, right? It's finding care, it's finding non-traditional hours care is a huge problem for our industry, healthcare, public safety, many others. And then even if you can find it, can you afford it? We know infant care in Austin, for example, costs more than in-state college tuition. And these are families who haven't had 18 years to save for that expense.
I am very familiar with that at the moment, having
Me
a
too.
daughter. So, earlier this week we heard from a policy advocacy group, a nonprofit here called Texas 2036.
Yep.
They had put out a report about how the state is spending billions, and those kinds of benefits and programs are not overseen by just one single agency. I think they said more than 5 at this point. So is that something that is a concern to you all as well in terms of the state support for programs like this?
Absolutely. Texas 2036, tremendous partner, one of the co-founders of Employers for Childcare, along with Texas Association of Business and a group called Early Matters. We're in total alignment on this. You can't run an efficient, high outcome system split between 6 agencies and all the school boards and all the different players involved. Just like Texas families, we think our government really needs to look at their spending and make sure that we're getting the best ROI and results possible. We can't do that if we don't have clear data, clear accountability, and really clear goals about what it is that we're trying to accomplish for working families and for the workforce that we need to continue to grow.
During that conversation with Texas 2036, we asked about potential solutions that are maybe on the table, especially as the legislature is coming back next year.
Texas has a surplus. $23 billion. What? $23 billion. $23 billion. $23 billion. How much? Review Texas child care. Review proposed plans and legislation. That would benefit, that would help Texans with child care in Texas. How much would 12 billion, half, go towards review what 12 billion could be used for in any of those plans?
For another regular session. What kind of work is your group doing to try to echo some of these concerns to lawmakers? I would imagine they're still hearing that from their own voters, but just to amplify that, what kind of work are you doing?
Yeah, there's some great projects happening over the interim before the legislature comes back in January. One is the Sunset Commission. That's an entity that looks at all of our state agencies. Are they doing the best work? Do they need reforms? Kind of like an efficiency audit, if you will. So that's going underway right now. There is the
Yo, homie, what does that have to do with making childcare more affordable so Texans can work and they can be taxed more? Actually, there's no income tax in Texas.
the governor's task force on early education and care. It's really looking at how the system is so split and siloed. How can we consolidate things? How can we bring efficiencies to make
What?
that
It's
better?
money. It's money. It's money. People
And then there's
need.
the Quad Agency Commission, which has 4 of these state agencies together talking, looking at within our existing.
Bro, 0 plans in place. 0 plans in place to address childcare in Texas.
Programs. Where can we make sure regulations aren't conflicting, aren't duplicating? Can we
Holy shit. That is insane.
make our child
Like, Mamdani was just like, yeah, we're just going to put into the budget childcare. We're going to give childcare to 22,000 kids.
their providers' lives easier so they can serve more families, bring down their costs, etc.
And streamline that process a little bit more. Are there other
It's like, yeah, knock down more regulations.
policies, solutions, recommendations that you all are wanting to float out there that you're hoping lawmakers will listen to?
There's going to be a lot on the table, I think. I think this governance piece is really the first and most important.
Bro, you are a terrible advocate. You are a terrible advocate. What do you mean? How are you gonna be fucking political? How are you gonna be PC on that? Be like, no, this is what we should do. I think we should add childcare to, high schools or something like that. Colleges, community colleges should offer childcare, and that should be count as college credits for the workers. Something like that.
Because until we have a system that employers can tap into, nonprofits, local community leaders, we need a system that everyone can get on the same page and plug in their own specific way.
They love tax credits. They should give tax credits to businesses that offer childcare at the place of work.
We talk to employers all the time. They're saying, we want to expand our employee benefits. We want to create new childcare programs, but we don't know how to do that in the system that we have today. So I think once we get that system operating more efficiently, then we'll have that next phase of now what can we do to get employers more involved, local community members, and others.
Bro, that's so crazy. She's on there. She's like, I think it's just best if we just talk about it. Like, let's just get everybody together and we're just going to talk about it and we'll see where the talks go, okay? That way we'll get everybody's input and then eventually 10 years ago, everybody's fucked.
Alrighty, so we came out of...
Katie out here. Warrior princess for justice. Warrior princess for justice out here, fighting in the trenches, standing up to the literal federal government, standing up to the man. She is the type of attorney that I want to be when I grow up.
Of this extra long status hearing today. Truth be told, myself and my lawyers did not expect this thing to last longer than 20, 30 minutes. 2 hours and some change later, Judge Sullivan concludes the hearing. What I want to do is, I understand that some of you had problems being able to dial in and be able to listen to what is going on. So I want to walk you through what happened during this hearing so that you get a full flavor of what it is. It's inside a federal courthouse. It's in front of Judge Emmett Sullivan. There were 3 lawyers for the Department of Justice today, none of whom was Todd Blanche, one of whom was Andrew Block, that I, as you know from my episode earlier today, I predicted that he was going to roll up into court today. No Stanley Woodward, no Todd Blanche. The line prosecutor who's been handling some of the day-to-day was there. His first name is Saif. I forget his last name. He was a brand new face.
Because fuck him.
Of some federal prosecutor. I think his first name was Garrison. So he was there. Straight out of the gate, what do we know? None of these lawyers from the Department of Justice representing Todd Blanche today knew what the hell was going on. Especially this guy, Andrew Block. Whether you think it was an intentional thing where he could sit there and feign ignorance with Judge Sullivan, or he legit sincerely didn't know because he had just been dropped into or parachuted into this case, who knows? But it was very evident the second that Judge Sullivan took the bench that this guy did not know and did not have answers, and that did not go well with Judge Sullivan at all. So I'm going to go to my notes and I'm going to walk through them with you because I want to make sure that you guys also have the full flavor of what happened today. The judge.
Okay, and just to give background, Katie Fang has filed a federal lawsuit to release more of the Epstein files, and she's like, there's a judge that agrees she has merit, and this Todd Blanche was supposed to show up to this hearing because they're not giving her the documents that the judge ordered her to, and he didn't. And so this is the fallout after the judge's, or this is a breakdown of the hearing.
The judge immediately started with the redactions for the names of the victims that Todd Blanche claims have either self-identified or identified through counsel that they are victims, and that's the reason why their names or their email addresses have been redacted from these documents that were provided to Judge Sullivan in an unredacted form for an in-camera or an in-chambers review. There was a second binder. We don't know what's inside of it, but according to this lawyer, Andrew Block, this second binder that was handed up to the judge today contained the, quote, corroborating documentation that the judge had originally ordered from Todd Blanche that would substantiate the claim that the redactions pertained to people, again, who claim that they are victims, or they have either self-identified, or they used lawyers to identify themselves as victims. Andrew Block says that the second binder handed up to the judge is a, quote, representative sample of this victims in this case, and that according to the attorney review protocol, which I've covered here before, which was just made up by the DOJ and was not done in compliance, frankly, with the Epstein Files Transparency Act, because it expands the DOJ's spectrum of redactions and withholdings. There is a, quote, sliding scale of documentation available to the DOJ when it comes to people being able to identify themselves as victims. The department didn't weigh on the amount, didn't consider the amount of information. They just took at face value a representation by a victim or by their counsel, and that's how they applied the redactions. So that is what Andrew Block told the judge. The judge said, I will look at your submission of the second binder, and I will look at it privately in chambers, and I will advise. Now,
and you know they cherry picked. They cherry picked what to put in that binder. Ooh, I don't know how I like that.
Handwritten interview notes by the FBI agents of that 13-year-old girl who alleges that, of the woman who alleges when she was 13 that she was sexually abused by Donald Trump and physically battered. According to this DOJ lawyer, Andrew Block, because those handwritten FBI notes are duplicative of the FBI 302s, which are like the official reports that are generated, that's why they're not turning them over. And the judge pressed him and said, I don't understand. You don't have any additional information for me. You were supposed to come to court today and give me additional information as to why you cannot manually redact these handwritten notes. The judge asked Mr. Block, how many pages are there of these notes so I have an understanding of what's at issue? Block said, I don't have that info. You don't have an approximation of the numbers? And how about have there ever been other handwritten notes that have been published that have been redacted? To which Andrew Block said, not to my knowledge. That is an untrue statement. We know that handwritten notes that accompany the FBI 302s, that they've been turned over. We've seen them ourselves in the production by the DOJ. At this point,
I love it when she talks like that. She's so fucking beautiful. Oh my goodness.
this Andrew Block guy was struggling.
Katie, I love you with the glasses on or off. Oh my goodness.
Face turning red, hands were shaking, he was stuttering, he wasn't really able to explain himself to the court because the court kept on saying, well, what is the cause? I asked Blanche to come and show cause why he could not do these redactions of the handwritten notes. And Block says, well, it's just duplicative. But remember, people, they never said it was duplicative. They said it was substantially similar. They said the handwritten notes were substantially similar to the 302s, and that's the reason why they weren't turning them over. So then the court said to Block, you have nothing to add to the previous response that was made by Todd Blanche. Block says, we're just looking for a clear order. And the court goes, well, what's unclear here? Yikes. And the court says, can't you tell me, is there another way to do the redactions? Okay, no response from Block. We need a good, clean order here because we're having difficulty understanding at this procedural posture what you want us to do.
Wow.
I mean, I'll tell you how long this was. It was horrifically, painfully long. The back and forth on this. I was embarrassed.
Telling a judge is like, yeah, we don't understand your order. Because it's usually you and the plaintiff counsel or they're like, if you're disagreeing on what the order says, then you ask the judge to clarify, but they're like, your order is confused.
Embarrassed for this DOJ attorney because he didn't really know how to answer these questions, right? And so what Andrew Block...
Damn, Katie. Throwing up his fucking LinkedIn. Hell yes. Fuck you, Andrew Block.
Complaining about the Herculean efforts that hundreds of DOJ personnel undertook to be able to do the redactions for millions of pages. Judge Sullivan was unswayed by this. And let me be clear, Judge Sullivan was not being cruel. He wasn't being impatient. In fact,
He should be. When you flaunt being an attorney for the U.S. federal government and snicker your nose at a judge's order, you should be punished and humiliated.
I was like, this guy is giving him so much grace. This judge is giving this AUSA so much grace that I didn't think this AUSA deserved, and yet the judge was insistent on trying to let this AUSA save his, position on what he was saying here. So just want to make sure that we stay on track. So the redaction log. The judge asked Andrew Block, do you have a time frame by which you're going to be able to provide this? And Block said, I don't. Block says there's a process underway regarding the Federal Register log. I don't know the timing. Judge Sullivan says, can you give me a date by which you're going to accomplish this? Because it was supposed to have been done, or at least there's an interpretation of the law that it should have been done by December of 2025. Andrew Block says, I don't have a date. Judge Sullivan says, but you knew it was going to be discussed today, so how come you don't have any of this information I'm asking of you? And Block says, it's coming, Judge, but this is all out of my control. And the judge is like, don't you have a time frame? 30, 60 days? Someone from DOJ has to answer this. And the judge says, the Epstein Act said that this had to be done. Congress intended that this be completed back in December of 2025. So I need to know, what is the DOJ doing to comply with this redaction log? And then the judge said something that I thought was really important, people. He said, is this case being afforded priority in the DOJ? How is this case not a front and center prioritized case at the DOJ? It's important. It's the Epstein files. And when Judge Sullivan said this, I was like, yes, finally, somebody is actually saying out loud what we've all been saying, which is this should be the priority for the DOJ. Then Judge Sullivan says, how is that nobody can give me a date by which this redaction log is going to be done with the Federal Register? I want you to get that person on the phone. If not, then I'm going to be forced to impose a date, and I don't want to be arbitrary and do that. Judge Sullivan then...
You should. No, fuck that. I'd be like, all right, you get 30 days. I'm gonna give you another 30 days, and if you can't give us some sort of log or update, then, I'm gonna find you in contempt.
Said Congress intended the public and the victims to get this information. My job as the judge to ensure that this law is enforced. Then Andrew Block, on behalf of Todd Blanche, says, "Oh, Mr. Blanche has tried to comply with this order, but we need a clear, clean order." And then Judge Sullivan said, "You want another order? And it's going to say something to the effect of, 'I really mean it this time.'" At which point in time,
Oh shit! Oh shit! That's crazy! Oh my goodness! Ah, that's so nuts. You want an order to say "I really mean it this time"? Oh sure, I would have laughed in court. I would not have been able to hold that back. I would have been like, shit, sorry, Your Honor, but zing as fuck. That's crazy.
Because it was just so absurd, because Block kept on saying, "I need a clean order. I need a clean, clear order." And the judge said, "You know what? Part of me contemplated doing sealed proceedings where I invited just the government into court and no one else and allowed them to speak to me and walk through these unredacted items." But then the judge says, "But then I said no, because the public has the right to know what's going on. The victims have the right to know, quote, what the hell is going on in this case." Now, with regards to the foreign language documents, the court says, "I ordered the defendant, Tom Blanche, to initiate review of these documents and to give notice that this review was underway." And instead, Todd Blanche said that the court can't supplant Congress's acceptance of it's not practicable to be able to do these interpretations or these translations. And Sullivan said, "I'm just trying to ensure compliance here, because this is a requirement that is long overdue for these documents." Andrew Block, on behalf of Todd Blanche, says, "I don't even know how many documents there are," when the judge asked him. And then the judge says, "But you knew this was going to be discussed today. Do you guys see a theme here or a common denominator questioning from the court? You're at the podium as counsel for the Attorney General, and you don't have this information?" I mean, this is the kind of dialogue that was going on and on. And then the judge took a maybe 30, 40-minute recess, and when he resumed back on the bench, he said, "Look, he ordered..."
I wonder what they do when they have clerks, and judicial assistants, and like attorneys that work for them.
Me as Miss Fang
Who's
to
here
be
to talk to
able
her.
to prepare a proposed order about the FBI notes. The handwritten notes must be produced in camera, in chambers, to Judge Sullivan, unredacted, to be reviewed. And then with regards to the Federal Register, that redaction log, there's going to be the requirement that a declaration be done about the status of it, who's done it, who's been reviewing it, what's been going on, because Judge Sullivan wants the DOJ to have to own the representations made on the record today. And he told us, my side, to be able to prepare these proposed orders and this issue about the declaration in 10 days. And then this is a really important part of what happened today, and I want to make sure that we talk about this. I had raised the issue of having Todd Blanche held in contempt of court. The judge took a long time to explain an anecdote about how he, years ago, held four DOJ prosecutors in contempt of court, in civil contempt, because they refused to turn over documents to a criminal defendant. Once he held these federal prosecutors in contempt of court, he purged the contempt once they turned over the documents. 3 out of those 4 federal prosecutors appealed that order of contempt, and the federal appeals court upheld Judge Sullivan's finding of contempt. Judge Sullivan said, "I am the only federal judge who has held DOJ attorneys in civil contempt. I have no desire to do it again, but because contempt is serious." But he said this, "But I will do it. That's not a threat. That's a promise." He then went on to say, "I am not focused on contempt. I am focused on compliance with court orders. I understand how difficult your job is. No one ever has enough time, but you've never asked me for more time." And he goes, "Look, we don't have to do a conversation. I'm just talking about this. You don't have to respond." This was so important because he made it very clear to these DOJ attorneys that he's willing and able to do it. He doesn't want to hold them in contempt. but he's done it before and he'll do it again. And that's a really important lesson to impart to these young lawyers that showed up. Although, again, I'm not quite sure if it was an intentional thing to bring these lawyers in at the last minute that didn't have answers that the judge demanded.
Oh, I think it was.
I know it was frustrating. I heard that we pretty much crashed the dial-in system for the court today, so a lot of you weren't able to get this. I'll do a little bit more of a deeper analysis tomorrow, but I just wanted to make sure that I got this read.
I love that. I love that so many people wanted to listen in on this hearing that the fucking system crashed. Hell yes. Like, this. People are. The government's failures are forcing the people to be so fucking involved in politics.
To you immediately so that you had this information. As always, thanks
Thank
for
you,
the support,
Katie.
And be mad, be outraged, and demand accountability.
Katie Fang here. We launched the Katie Fang News Channel in partnership with the Midas Touch Network so we could bring you the latest in legal and political news. Straight, no chaser. So if
She should go on Joe Rogan. She should go on Joe Rogan, 100%.
Right to the artificial medicine industry, and he is also sometimes useful to us in telling the story of Donald Trump's corruption, because sometimes it is so blatant, it is so obvious that even Joe Rogan, who will defend Donald Trump, who will lie on behalf of him, and will visit him at the White House, sometimes Joe Rogan, he turns on Donald Trump. Now, he did today, not because he's making some political statement against the presidency, but because Donald Trump is just that corrupt. That his useful idiot can sometimes be useful in telling the most important story in this administration, which is, it's all about the grift. It is all about the money. Today, Joe Rogan was a useful idiot to us because one of my favorite comedians out there went on Joe Rogan's podcast and subtly throughout the entire episode was slipping in little bits of information about the criminality of Trump's organization and even made Rogan read about it live on air. We are going to get into that. We are going to get into Shane Gillis being a secret hero of the left. Now, some people may not like Shane Gillis and his comedy. I really do. His show Tires on Netflix is fantastic. But what he really did today, what he did today will really make you a fan. We are going to get into it and what Rogan read live, but we got to start with the context behind what he read, and that's Chris Murphy breaking down Donald Trump's insider trader payment plan. It is truly wild shit.
Donald Trump just announced that he is setting up an insider trading information subscription service. If you pay Donald Trump $100,000 a month, he will give you early access to the announcements he's making regarding federal policy, early access to information about tariffs, early access to information about the Iran war, early access to information about what country he's bombing next. This is a criminal syndicate that he is running out in the open. It is illegal to make money off of inside information. Donald Trump is literally setting up a formal process by which you can pay him a bribe in exchange for information that no one else has. $100,000 a month. Big billion-dollar corporations have that money. And when they have advance notice of a tariff announcement, they can place bets on the market to be able to make millions of dollars. Well, ordinary Americans who cannot pay him for inside information get screwed. None of this is normal. A lot of this is illegal. And I will just say to companies out there, if you choose to take part in this scheme and it proves to be illegal as it looks on its face, you are going to eventually be held accountable.
This is the most blatantly corrupt thing that Donald Trump has ever done. And I'm talking about the slush fund. I'm talking about the ballroom. I'm talking about it like this is the most corrupt thing he has ever done. we have talked extensively about how there is probably insider trading happening in this White House, and Donald Trump.
Now he's just owning up to it. He's like, yeah, and if you want to get in on it, $100,000. If you have nothing to give to him, he has nothing for you. Has he signed a fucking? Has Donald Trump signed emergency declaration for Texas floods? Has he? This is June. This is June. July. July 18th. Hmm.
Trump just said, how do we move from probably to absolutely to, yeah, it's going on. And hey, who wants a piece of the pie? 1.2 mil, you can get in on the insider trading, which I also think is very representative of this administration and of our politics right now. You know, a lot of people have been discussing the money in our politics, I think rightfully so, as an investment. It's what it is. It is an investment. It's not a nudge. It's not a push. It's not hey, could I get a favor? It is an investment. And it returns really, really well. The rich get richer in their investments, but especially in politics. $1.2 million a year for insider information, that is worth billions to these people. And that is why even Joe Rogan, the useful idiot that he is, who is always going to, grunt like an ape for Donald Trump and RFK and Elon Musk and the Epstein class, had to be just admitting his shock when, again, one of my favorite comedians, Shane Gillis, presented him with his Trump scam, and Rogan read it aloud on air.
Isn't he selling his Truth Social tweets to people and then they can bet on it?
What?
I think, yeah.
You can bet on anything
He's
now.
selling access.
Yeah, selling access.
To what? He's selling faster access to his tweets, and then you can bet on it.
Bet on what his
on
tweets will
the
be?
markets. Because
wait a minute,
it's literally insider trading.
It's Kashi. You
Maybe
can
I'm
bet on
wrong,
everything. You can fix.
Yeah.
Wait a
You
minute.
fix your own
No, he's talking. Fuck, the other guy's an idiot. But he's talking about his True Social post. So when he says, "Oh, the Strait of Hormuz is open," or there's a deal with Iran, and the oil markets crash, then you can be there to short the oil markets. And when he says, "Oh, we're going to be obliterating Iran and their way of life," then you can go and buy oil because the price is going to go up.
Real? You get access to a tweet before he makes it, and then you could bet on that tweet? How's that legal?
We'll see.
Wait a minute, what is this? Trump sued over Truth Social advance access sale.
And I'm online in the Oval Office.
Who's
It's so
telling
good.
him this is a good idea? I feel like I need to be closer to
$100,000 contracts. Yeah, it's $100,000 you can get his early
Yo,
tweets.
you know how crazy that is? $100,000 to get early tweets.
Hey, bet 200 on
That's literally
It
crazy.
must piss you off so much when he tweets like
Truth Social's
the guy
parent
from Twilight's
company,
a bitch.
Trump Media, announced in July it would offer subscribers to Truth API who paid up to $100,000 each month. Oh my God! Not even just $100,000 a year, each
Patreon?
month. For early access to market-moving posts from Trump.
How are you so disconnected you didn't know this was happening? Your literal business is online and you don't know this is fucking happening? You got this fucking guy elected and you don't know this is happening? Like, what the
And
fuck,
other
bro?
people who use the platform.
Market
Can you
moving.
imagine you charge $1.2 million a year? He's just on a grab.
Oh, yeah.
And to get that is if people were like,
He's just on a grab. Yeah, bro. He's literally out here. He's like, listen, fuck these motherfuckers. I'm taking them for all they got.
But who? I just want to be in the meeting where they go, I got an idea.
and everyone looks at each other and is like,
Let's do
should we
it.
tell them? No?
They go, look, everyone hates us anyway.
$100,000.
Fuck it.
I bet it wasn't even Trump. It was probably some weasel who works in the administration.
Yeah, okay, bud. Okay, bud.
Charge them $100,000 a month, and you post things, and they can move the market.
Yikes.
It's just another form of the same shit.
Joe Rogan.
Just another form of the
you
same
have
shit.
been
No,
a
bro.
useful
No, bro. It's not another form of the same shit. All right. This is the shit that they've been doing, but selling it tickets to it, selling access to it. It's like, yeah, we're doing it, and if you want in on it, here's give us $100,000 a month. Okay. That's fucking stupid.
For us, because this has been a story for about a month now, and Rogan going, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's kind of crazy. It's like, dude, do you not pay attention? How do you like kind of purport to be or claim to be this public intellectual or this guy with I got this platform and I got all these thoughts and I want to really get in deep and share my opinion and who I endorse for president matters. How can you do that and not follow just kind of like the basic day-to-day news of this administration? Well, it's because Joe Rogan is a moron. He is. I call Joe Rogan the stupid person's smart person. A stupid person sees Joe Rogan and sees him pontificating on topics he doesn't understand and kind of selling this faux intellectualism and doing the just asking questions bit and thinks, oh, that guy really knows what he's doing. That guy really gets it. He's taken on the system. All these people who quote unquote take on the system. RFK, great example of this. RFK is a wonderful example of this. It is all a sort of manufactured dissent. All these people who are pushing back against the pharmaceutical industry, vaccines, are pretending they're doing it because they've come to some scientific conclusion that raises beyond a shadow of a doubt, right? There's empirical evidence against the greatest marvel in scientific history, or at least medical history. How many lives have vaccines saved? From, the beginning of, the bipedal man, and Neil deGrasse Tyson always brings this up, from the time humans became humans in the evolution of the species till about, I don't know, 1800, we were living 30 years max. That was the lifespan. And maybe from the caves to then, it went from 30 years to 35 years. What is it now on average around the world? 70? Like, I know it's getting lower in America because of the poop lettuce and Trump cutting our healthcare and all that, but like, vaccines in modern medicine are a marvel. But all these people, and this is my point on Rogan, and I want to get back to some of the Trump stuff in a second, so do stick around. But Rogan and RFK create this like manufactured dissent where people think that their opposition is theirs alone, in that their individual beliefs and their feelings, this is the most important part, their feelings, which are very much susceptible to propaganda and scamming, they are right and they should be taken as fact and respected. That is not the case. You hear this refrain pop up a lot with conservatives, and Rogan is a guy who loves to lean in this. And this is the hallmark of, again, what I call a stupid person's smart person. Someone who uses this phrase. If you ever hear this phrase, you say, that person's a dummy, and they're speaking to dummies. Common sense. Well, Jack, what are you talking about? Common sense is just common sense. That's a circular argument. Something's not right because it's right. Well, it's common sense to who? And what? In what way? How do we verify common sense? Can I go to an organization that outlines the parameters? No, it is just a label you attach to pretend that something is right. Often our first inclination is wrong, right? Like when RFK Jr. is spouting out this bullshit and fake statistics, to the layman, you could go, I don't know, this guy's presenting himself as an authority. You're just choosing to believe a different authority, but one who has no right to be in authority when you believe Joe Rogan or when you believe RFK Jr. or you believe
I mean, at this point, it's just like, all right, listen. Y'all went wild with your policies. Y'all did the most with your policies. You are the most extreme version of the Republican Party, and nobody likes it. 30% of America likes it. 30%, okay? The rest of us are like, fuck, bro. We can do better. We can fucking do
Alex
better.
Jones, for a long time, he had a bit of a protege, I guess you can call it. There's this guy by the name of Owen Schroyer.
Look, Republicans are even like, yeah, This is terrible. This is so terrible. I'm no longer gonna vote for a fucking Republican.
He was basically like, a right-leaning pundit. He was sort of a conspiracy-minded pundit. He was a MAGA guy for quite a long time, in the same way that Alex Jones was a MAGA guy for quite a long time. But funny enough, Alex Jones and Owen Schroyer broke up. And the reason they broke up is that Owen Schroyer was wise to Trump's bullshit before Alex. He was also wise to Israel's bullshit before Alex. And so he didn't want to toe the line anymore. He didn't want to be, a fucking MAGA sheep, a MAGA lemming. And he didn't want to pretend like Israel's not a problem when they are. And so while Alex was still out there coddling Donald Trump's nuts, when Alex was still out there downplaying the nefarious actions of Israel, Owen was like, fuck this, I'm out. Okay, so he broke up with Alex, started his own show, is doing his own thing independently now. And you know what's funny is eventually Alex decided to catch up to Owen. Now, by the way, I wonder if Alex has called Owen to apologize and to say, hey, you know what, man? You were right. I was wrong. You were right about Israel. You were right about Trump. You're right about the endless wars. You're right about the corruption. I was wrong. By the way, he also was a dick about it, too. I don't know if you guys know this, but Alex went after Owen pretty aggressively when Owen kept it classy. Okay? Well, so now Owen's out there doing his thing. Alex is desperately trying to catch up now. And by the way, I think the reason Alex did it is simply to maintain relevance. I think it became very obvious that you're going down with the ship if you stay with Trump. He's got a 36% approval rating on average. The low I've seen is 30. Everybody fucking hates this guy. He's got no juice left, bro.
Well, not everybody. Like 70% of the country does not like it. Does not like him. What do we do about the 30%? How are we gonna fix the 30%? I think the 30% is like you're literally gonna get your health care paid for, and you're gonna like it. All right, everybody's gonna put their money together, and instead of paying for wars and bombs and bullets, we're gonna pay for vaccinations and early preventative measures. Okay, and you're gonna live longer. And you're gonna love it.
Pedophile, war criminal, con man, terrorist, rapist, sadist, like what? Every negative word you can think of. That's what Trump is. So I think Alex did it not for any principled reason. He just knew I'm losing relevance, and so like I gotta flip up on Trump. Here's Owen Schroyer, and he decided, oh no, I'm gonna take it a step further now. Interesting. So what does he have to say about Trump these days? Here we go.
The only answer might be Democrats getting in there and stopping this administration. Democrats getting in there and stopping Trump from all the damage he's doing to this country. It might be the only option. That's what people are realizing. Wake up, guys. Wake up, MAGA. Hey, I get it. You thought it was all great. No. Wake up. Wake up. Trump is George Bush. Maybe worse. The Pentagon is broke. The debt is at a record high. Americans' debt is at a record high. You're in the Middle East. Americans are coming back in body bags. Wake up. Wake up. You have been sold out.
He wants woke 2.0. He's calling for woke 2.0.
Trump sold you out. And I wonder how many of these Americans that signed up for the military, a 19-year-old girl, a 19-year-old girl signs up for the military. She's dead now. I wonder if she signed up because she believed Donald Trump.
So let's repeat it here. Owen Schroyer says he's voting for Democrats to stop Trump's administration. Quote, the only answer might be Democrats getting in there and stopping Trump from all the damage he's doing to this country. Wake up. You've been sold out. The only answer might be Democrats getting in there and stopping Trump. I'm going to say the exact same shit I say in all the other segments where I cover these guys, the Tim Dillons, the Andrew Schultz, the Alex Jones. If you want to know what the truth is right now, tune into this show. Because he's saying the shit. Now, to his credit, he said it before Alex and before many others on the right. But he's saying shit that I was saying fucking years ago. Okay. In fact, that line, Trump is George Bush. How many times have I told you that? Trump is George W. Bush on steroids. What did George W. Bush do to us? He gave us multiple illegal wars of aggression that he kept us in, right? And he also delivered a subprime mortgage crisis and a great recession. He did tax cuts for the rich. He did deregulation out the wazoo so that corporations could get away with whatever crimes they want to get away with, right? Trump is doing all of that on steroids. As you all know, we got glyphosate being sprayed on all the food now. Guess what? We're all going to get cancer younger and die. They're dumping coal ash in our water. He destroyed the Clean Water Act. He destroyed the Clean Air Act. He's letting the Epstein class loot the treasury day in and day out. Like, it is disgusting what this country's become under him, but it's all totally predictable. Why? Because the Republican Party is a fascist, terrorist, imperialist, sadistic death cult. And what they want to do is exactly what Trump is doing. This is the Republican agenda. The Republican agenda is deregulation, and let the corporations do whatever the fuck they want, give all the money to the Epstein-class billionaire pedophiles, okay, and start as many wars as humanly possible because we try to dominate the world and we try to steal the world's natural resources. That's what's going on. And so, if you want to hear the truth, and you want to know the truth, you come to this show and you'll get it 2 years before these guys will start saying it. Eventually they'll start saying it.
Yeah.
Eventually they'll start saying it when they realize, oh shit, nobody accepts any other opinion right now because it's so fucking obvious when we're dealing with Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Has there ever been
Every day. It's just every day it's in our life.
somebody who has been as full of shit as him in human history?
Yes,
I don't know.
He straight lies to you every day.
No, because you've seen the compilations, the fucking, 70 clips straight of him going, we're going to end the wars, no more stupid wars, we're not going to war in Iran, we're going to end the wars, what are we doing in the Middle East, wasting our blood, wasting our treasure, boom, starts another illegal war. But again, not like it wasn't predictable, because in his first term, he was a fucking warmonger. He hired every neocon in Washington, D.C., and did neocon shit. He increased the Pentagon budget every single year. He illegally assassinated Qasem Soleimani, the top Iranian commander. He ripped up the Iranian nuclear agreement, which was a sign that bad things were coming. He tried to coup Venezuela. Do I need to go on? The signs were always there. What he says and what he does, those are always different things. Okay? And, some people
Well,
argue.
I mean, all he's doing is what's best for him and his family and friends, and he'll help you out if you have something to offer him. So, the people who donated to the ballroom, they all got government contracts.
And some people were riding Trump's nuts. And everybody on the right at this point, the real ones will just apologize, right? The real ones will just be like, I was wrong. I should have listened to the left. And from now on, listen to the left first because they're going to tell you the truth. Whereas we're struggling. We're struggling to keep up here, but maybe a year and a half, 2 years later, maybe then we'll catch up. Give me maybe 5 or 6 years, and then maybe we'll catch up. Or you can just get the truth from us, right? I saw this with Tim Dillon, too, all the time, man. Like, all of a sudden, he started saying, like, wait, you are the deep state. You are, protecting Epstein. Yes, and we told you that shit was going to happen, and you didn't buy it. You told us we're hyperbolic and we're crazy for saying Trump's a warmonger. We're hyperbolic and we're crazy for saying Trump's corrupt. We're hyperbolic and we're crazy for saying Trump is the establishment and he is the deep state. But no, now everybody realizes, well, it's a little too late and the fascism is here. So there's going to be plenty of people, including in my audience, who don't accept any of these motherfucking apologies, even if they deliver the apology. Because it's like, shit, you were told and you didn't listen and now here we are. And everybody's panicking, everybody's hair on fire. I've never seen a situation where the consensus is so strong when it comes to one man. But it is. When it comes to Trump, the consensus is over the top. It's basically only Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin at this point are the only two people left who are still slobbing on that knob. They're the only two left. And, well, you see what's happening to them. I mean, Shapiro's relevance is non-existent now. Basically, nobody watches his show. So, there you have it. But, the right is in disarray, to say the very least. And now they're at the point where people who you never in a million years would have thought would come out and say it, now they're going, shit.
Well, Owen left a while ago, but yeah. Now it's more and more every day are just like, yeah, enough is enough. And
I'm voting Democrat. I'm supporting Democrats. We heard Fuentes say this shit too. I'm voting Democrat. Now, what I will say,
fuck
don't get it
Fuentes.
twisted. When it comes to many of them, they're still nefarious. Fuentes in particular,
Right. They're still racist, misogynist bastards. Alright, we shouldn't pump them up, but broken clock is right twice a day. All right, y'all. I'm out. Good night. Good luck. I will see you probably on Sunday because I will be busy. Maybe Saturday night. Maybe. We'll see what happens. Good night. Good luck. And don't forget to like and subscribe.